Welcome to Sociology Vibes, where we simplify challenging ideas into easy to understand insights. Today, our focus is on the explanation of situational, generational, and urban-rural poverty, which allows sociologists to analyze and track how economic hardships are shaped by societal and personal circumstances, family history, and where people live. Let's start with situational poverty. Situational poverty is often caused by an unexpected life event or circumstance and often leads to poverty being temporary. Situational poverty is the most common form of poverty in the United States and can occur due to a job loss, medical emergency, loss of a primary breadwinner or family member, or a natural disaster that drains a household's finances and pushes them into poverty. According to the U.S. Census, poverty that is triggered by a sudden, unexpected life event generally is short-term, lasting approximately 1 year. Generational poverty is when poverty conditions are passed down from one generation to the next. For example, a child grows up in a low-income household with limited access to quality education and job opportunities, making it harder for them to escape poverty as an adult. Psychologist Martin Seligman coined the term learned hopelessness, referring to individuals who stop trying to change their situation because repeated failures or systematic societal barriers convince them that their actions won't make a difference. Sociologists emphasize that what looks like helplessness is often a rational response to structural or societal inequality. For example, families living in neighborhoods or regions where low wages, lack of access to healthcare and high-paying jobs, and underfunded schools make forward mobility difficult, perpetuating the cycle of generational poverty. According to the Center for Poverty and Inequality Research, 1/3 to 1/2 of children who are poor for a substantial part of their childhood will be poor as adults. Poverty in cities or urban areas occurs because the cost of living is high, jobs are competitive, and housing is expensive. Higher exposure to crime and environmental stressors such as pollution, lack of green spaces, noise, and crowding exacerbate poverty issues. Rural poverty occurs in less populated areas where jobs are limited and scarce, wages are lower, and access, especially to healthcare, education, and public transportation, is limited. Social isolation and fewer social support networks sometimes exacerbate poverty issues. Poverty rates in rural areas tend to be slightly higher when compared to urban areas. However, since more people live in cities, urban poverty impacts a higher number of people. Homelessness and home insecurity affect situational, generational, and geographic poverty. Homelessness is defined as an individual or family lacking a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. It also includes living places not designated for human habitation, staying in shelters or transitional housing, or other temporary and inadequate accommodations, or facing imminent loss of housing without having alternative arrangements, such as eviction. Housing insecurity is not the same as homelessness, but it often represents a pathway toward it when financial or social support fails. It refers to a range of challenges that make it difficult for individuals or families to maintain safe, stable, and affordable housing. Examples include regularly struggling to pay rent or mortgage, spending a large portion of income on housing, leaving little for essentials like food or healthcare, experiencing frequent moves, evictions, or threats of eviction, living with friends or relatives due to lack of housing, and living in overcrowded, unsafe, or substandard conditions. According to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD, and the Urban Institute, housing insecurity is not the same as homelessness, but it often represents a pathway toward it when financial or social supports fail. Studying the different kinds of conditions that lead to poverty, we see that poverty is more about unexpected events and circumstances, social location, societal issues, and social problems, rather than a lack of individual effort or not working hard. Poverty is also influenced by a lack of access to social resources, affordable housing, and societal inequalities. This information helps us to think about policies and societal solutions that might reduce economic hardship, including fair wages, access to quality education, healthcare, and job opportunities, rather than placing the blame on individuals. And this makes sociology fascinating, don't you think? Thank you for watching. Be sure to comment below with your thoughts, questions, or any topics you'd like us to explore next. Let's keep the conversation going and our community growing. See you in the next Sociology Vibes video.